Hello, how are you friends? Well, the story we are going today is about the Goose Girl story. So without taking too much time, let's listen to the story. So without skipping, listen till the end of the story, all my friends. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess who lived in a grand castle in a faraway kingdom. She was known throughout the land for her grace and beauty, and many suitors came from all over the world hoping to win her hand in marriage. But the princess was not interested in any of them, and instead spent most of her time with her pet goose, which she loved dearly. One day, the king announced that he was sending his daughter to a far-off kingdom to marry the prince. The princess was heartbroken at the thought of leaving her beloved goose behind, but her father insisted that it was for the best. He promised that he would send her goose along with her, so that she would not be lonely on her journey. And so, the princess set off on her journey, accompanied by her faithful goose. Along the way, she grew increasingly anxious and worried about her upcoming marriage to a man she had never met before. She confided her fears to her goose, who listened attentively and comforted her with gentle honks. When they finally arrived at the prince's castle, the princess was surprised to find that her goose was no longer with her. She asked the servants where it had gone, but they only shrugged and said they had not seen any goose. The princess was devastated, but she tried to put on a brave face for the prince. However, she quickly realized that her new husband was not at all what she had expected. He was cold and distant, and seemed to have no interest in getting to know her. Instead, he spent most of his time with his friends, leaving the princess feeling lonely and neglected. One day, while wandering the castle grounds, the princess came across a flock of geese. To her surprise, one of them began to honk and flap its wings excitedly, as if recognizing her. It was her beloved goose, which had somehow made its way to the prince's castle. Overwhelmed with joy, the princess scooped up the goose in her arms and hugged it tightly. But the prince, who had been watching from a distance, was not pleased. He scolded the princess for bringing such a dirty and unkempt bird into his castle, and ordered her to get rid of it immediately. Heartbroken once again, the princess tearfully said goodbye to her goose and watched as it flew away. But as it disappeared into the distance, she noticed that something glittering had fallen out of its feathers. It was a golden feather, which she quickly picked up and showed to the prince. The prince's eyes widened in amazement at the sight of the golden feather, and he immediately asked the princess where she had gotten it. She told him the story of her beloved goose and how it had comforted her on her journey, and the prince was moved by her tale. He realized how foolish he had been to judge the goose based on its appearance, and how much he had hurt his new wife by his callous words and actions. He apologized to the princess and promised to treat her with the love and respect she deserved. And so, the princess and the prince lived happily ever after, with the golden feather serving as a constant reminder of the lesson they had learned, that true beauty lies not in outward appearance, but in kindness and love. And the goose, having played a crucial role in bringing the couple together, was hailed as a hero throughout the kingdom. Okay, that's the end of the story. Join us tomorrow and listen to beautiful folk story like this. Thank you to all of you watch and listen to the stories. See you again.